sleep, eh? Do you want to talk about it?
You took someone's life. What's there to talk about?
Oh, that's my cab. Listen, I've got to shoot out for a bit. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to bed. I don't want to talk or see anyone today. I just want to be quiet.
I know your loyalties run deep, but he's dangerous. The best thing we can do is cut him loose. That way you, me and Vicky can get on with our lives. Then perhaps he'll get the message.
Dad? How long have you known?
Long enough.
These people, eh? They'll say they ain't got it. They'll stand there in broad daylight and swear blind they ain't got a penny, but you drag them out of bed all confused, hair sticking up on end, Mrs. Bird or whatever, screaming their heads off. They always give out. Quite entertaining, really. Eh? Isn't it?
It's blood money.
Wages, unless you're back to doing it for fun.
You've been grinning for days. You got money or something you ain't tell me about?
Well, do I need a reason to be joyful, boy? Spring is coming and the sap is rising.
I don't want to hear about your sap. Man of your age, disgusting.
Son, what's age? The spirit is willing and the flesh is tingling.
Do you have to? I've had fried bread.
I'm going to tell you a secret, all right?
Is it dirty?
No. I might ask Yolandi to marry me.
I think that's the best idea you've had in years.
So do I.
What am I talking about? It's the only good idea you've ever had.
Sharon, what happened to you last night? You said you were going to go and talk to Dennis, but well, when I came in, you were in your room and your light was off, and well, Dad said you were ill to leave you.
Well, there you are then. That's what happened.
Sharon, look, I know he's our dad and everything.
You know, between the two of you, you are pulling me apart.
Sharon? Sharon!
What? Oh, Jim, let's go to the cafe, have a cup of tea.
Well, we can have one of them at home.
Yeah, well, I fancy a donut.
What?
You're a cold-blooded, brutal, mindless thug.
He wanted me dead.
Who?
Jack, of course. Which one of my fathers do you think I meant?
No, you're just trying to twist it around.
They'd not tell you that bit. Funny, he knows all about it. You want to rake this up? Fine, let's do it. He wanted me dead.
Why?
How should I know? There was nothing on the telly, he was bored. First I knew about it was when Phil rocked up holding a gun. They'd not tell you that bit either. Oh, you've got to love him, haven't you? He's very selective in his truth-telling. He should go into politics.
Phil had nothing to do with this.
He sent his brief down the neck when I got pulled. Someone to sit in with me. Stop me from saying something stupid, fessing up. Did that out of the goodness of his heart,
He
did
did that for me. He sent Marcus to help you.
He did it to cover his back.
You're lying. All you've ever tried to do is destroy his life. You're lying.
He owed Jack a favour. Jack called it in. That favour was me. Oh, do you think I just killed a man for the fun of it? Something to put on my CV. Yeah, I reckon you did.
Phil'd never do that. It's not his style.
But it's mine.
He'd never do that. No matter what he thought of you, he'd never do that.
Wouldn't he? Well, he had me pretty convinced. I've never had to talk so fast in my life. We made a deal.
What deal?
Instead of him killing me, I killed Jack.
The way you say it.
What, do you want me to wrap it up a bit prettier? We went for a nature ramble in the woods and only one of us came back.
You knew what you were going to do, and that makes it worse.
Didn't see us have much of a choice.
Yes, you did. There's always a choice. You should have just gone.
Gone where?
Anywhere.
I just got here.
Yes, living with us. Me and Vicky, as if everything was normal.
How else was I supposed to live?
She looks up to you. She hero worships you. Well, some hero. And me, well...
And you?
I feel sick at myself for letting you...
Letting me what? I don't remember you screaming at me to stop. In fact, quite the opposite.
I could have just gone.
But I had something really important to tell you, didn't I, Sharon? If I'd have just gone, we wouldn't have had a row where you told me I was just like your dad and I'd wind up dead too. And if I'd have just gone, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that he wasn't really dead. How do you think I found out about that, Sharon? How do you really think I found out about that?
You were told.
Well, me and Jack just sat down over a couple of brandies, chewing the fat, and he let that one slip.
He was in trouble and he wanted you to help him. That's what you said. He was in trouble.
Well, he was in trouble, wasn't he? He was looking down the business end of a barrel with me at the trigger. I call that trouble. Things falling into place for you, Sharon, are they? Well, let's see if we can make them fall a little harder and faster. Den got to come home because of what I did. You got your dad back because this worthless user did a murder.
Alright.
Yeah. Sharon in bed?
No, she's gone out for a walk.
Where?
To the park. She just wanted to get some fresh air.
Why didn't you go with her then?
Well, I did offer, but she didn't want any company.
Tell me you didn't mean to do it. Tell me it was a mistake.
Who are you trying to make this better for? Me or you? Den?
There was a struggle. The gun went off by accident.
But it didn't. We're not even in court and you're already trying to turn it into manslaughter. It's murder. There's no way of making it any better. I go there, hold the gun on him, make him drive somewhere with it pressed at the base of his neck, sounding like I didn't mean it so far.
Shut up.
Him talking all the time. Like we're going out for a stroll instead of somewhere quiet where I can kill him and get away with it.
Please, Dennis, don't.
And all the way there I'm thinking, I'm really going to have to do this. I've never even fired a gun before, but I'm really going to have to do this. And then there's no going back. I don't have a choice.
There's always a choice.
No, there isn't. I get him by the railway tracks. Him going on at me, chipping away. 'Cause he knows things about me, Jack does. And I make him turn round so he's facing me. And he dares me to do it. Says, go on then. And I can't. My hand is shaking. My whole arm is shaking. I'm trying to hold the gun on him, all of a sudden it weighs a ton.
I don't want to hear this.
And he laughs at me. Says I've gone soft. I haven't got the killer instinct. And then he starts in on you. And how it was him that sorted out Den. And in that moment I think everything could have been so different. And I tell him who Den was to me. And my hand stops shaking and he panics. And the train goes past, the lights from it. I could see his eyes. And he is petrified. I mean, he's begging for his life.
Shut up, Dennis.
And then he tells me everything. And he says, that's got to make a difference. And I say, no, don't. And I shoot him.
Why are you telling me this?
So you know what I've done? So you know everything? So you know who I am? Why don't you want to hear what I've done, Sharon?
Because I was in love with you and I don't understand why you did it.
He'd have killed me. I weren't having it. End of.
No, it isn't. There is never an end of. It just goes on and on. And I hate that world. I hate it so much. And I thought you were out of it, but you're not. You are part of it.
swear to you, I didn't know you were there. I felt a hand on my shoulder and I turned round and hit him, but I swear to you, I didn't know it was you. What were you doing there?
I came to get you. You couldn't have let him go. You didn't have to kill him.
This Jack Dalton we're talking about. It's not like the mourners were lying in the streets chucking flowers at the hearse.
He's still alive.
He was a sick human being. Do you know the things he did? You don't know the half of it. Why are you cutting your heart out for him?
I don't care about him. I care about you, what it's done to you, what this has made you.
Not exactly how you think your life's going to crack on, is it? What are you going to be when you grow up? Please, miss, I'm going to be a murderer. I don't want to be, but that's what I'm going to be. So I know what it's made me. You know, perhaps right from the start when I first met Jack, I wasn't hardly 16. But I always knew he was going to send someone to kill me, and I always knew I was going to have to kill him just to be rid of him.
You didn't have to kill him, Dennis.
He'd have killed me, Sharon. I didn't want to be dead. There was a time I wouldn't have been too fussed, but... How quiet it was straight after. Stood there, what felt like ages, just staring at him. His eyes were open. He looked surprised. And I had this really clear thought that whatever else I am, whatever else I could be, I'm always going to be that second and this first. A murderer. Everything I do from now on is always going to be about this.
Including me.
Well, it is now, isn't it? I didn't know what to do with myself. I had to make myself walk away. I couldn't remember which direction I come from, where the car was. Thought I'm going to have to go back and ask him, but I can't, because he's dead, because I killed him. I find the car finally, and just about remember how to drive. And I start worrying about the person that's got to find him. I think maybe I should go back there, you know, cover his face up with some leaves or something so they don't have to see it. But I can't remember where I've left him. And anyway, I've got to get home and hide the gun and act like everything's normal. But nothing's ever going to be normal again, is it? Nothing's ever going to be ordinary. And then they find Jack, and it all kicks off, doesn't it? On the telly and the papers. And all I can think about is the person that had to find him. Someone out walking their dog. I hope they're all right. But how can they be? How can anything be all right after this? And I want to find them, you know, this person with their dog. I want to ring them or write to them and tell them I'm sorry for giving them nightmares. I mean, I see it, but they shouldn't have to. They haven't done anything wrong. I dream about him sometimes. In his coffin, rotting. What his skull's going to look like with the hole in it that I put there, no one else, me. And then I wake up in a cold sweat, and he ain't in his coffin no more. He's in the corner of the room in my chair, looking just how he did when I left him, a leaf on his shoe, mud on his coat. And he smiles at me and he says, I got you wrong, Dennis. You have got it in you. Killer. You ain't never going to be rid of me now, boy. Not never. I'm shaving in the morning, and I look in the mirror, and there's this mark on me. No one else can see it, but I can. Living like everything's normal, you reckon? And then there's Vicky, jumping up at me like a puppy, and I want to shout at her. I want to get her away from me. Why can't she see what I've done? And you? You couldn't see it, but now you can. And you were right. I did have a choice, him or me, and I chose me. So I know what I am. I know what I've done. I didn't want to do it, but I did. I didn't want to kill him, but I did. And I live with it. And it doesn't go away. Every day it's there with me. I am what I have done. Cold-blooded, brutal, thug. Yeah, all right. But mindless. Nah. Because this don't stop ticking. It never stops.
Thanks.
This is nice, isn't it? Just the two of us. We haven't really had a chance to chat, have we? Catch up, you know, what with everything that's been going on.
Did Sharon say how long she was going to be?
No. Though she said she might get her nails done, though. You know, girly stuff, Dad. Did you think about us while you were away?
Of course I did.
All of us?
Yep. Well, you and Sharon anyway.
Just us? You did think about Dennis?
What's there to think about?
You didn't think about him at all? Not even just wonder?
No.
I think you should talk to him.
There's nothing to talk about, and I don't want you talking to him either.
Why not?
Because I said so.
So that's it, is it? You chuck him out and that's it?
Forget about him.
This means a lot to him. You, the family, the whole lot.
It means so much to him he bedded your sister.
Look, I don't like any of that any more than you do, all right? But I love them both. I can't just forget about him.
You'll do as you're told.
Will I? He's had a horrible life.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
He has. He doesn't say anything to anyone and he hates anyone knowing. We had an argument once and he let something slip. I've never mentioned it since. I kind of hoped if he wants to talk about it, he'd bring it up himself, but he obviously doesn't. It was horrible. Cruel.
It's no excuse
For what?
for what he's done.
To Sharon? Look, I know he didn't mean to do any of that. You can't just turn your back on your own kid.
He's not a kid, he's a grown-up. He's responsible for his own actions.
And are you responsible for yours?
Yeah.
Why were you smiling at him? I walked into the pub and Dennis was having that fight and you were watching him and you were smiling. Why?
You're beginning to annoy me.
Well, I'm a teenager. It's what we do. It's our job. What did you say to him, Dad? I know you said something. What did you say to him?
I'm going to make some phone calls.
He doesn't know I'm here.
Taking a bit of a risk, aren't you? Sneaking out without his say-so, he might stop your pocket money. Take away the club. I heard you got it back. So much for letting things go.
You were supposed to let things go too. You promised me that no matter what anybody said, you'd let it go and walk away and come home to me. Even if it was Dad. Especially if it was Dad.
Who's saying he came out with anything new? Perhaps it was just his face getting on my nerves.
You promised. We made promises to each other.
Yeah, well, they're just words, aren't they?
I'd given everything up for you. Everything that mattered. Told him.
Well, he had everything to play for then, didn't he? Why are you here?
Because I had things to say to you that were nothing to do with him. That were to do with us. Private. When did you tell him all of this? You keep saying you knew all of it, but when did you tell him?
What did he say?
That he'd known long enough.
Was that it? Economical. Pretty much straight away. Bit of personal stuff, big mistake. Then waded straight on in there with a serious crime.
But it can't have been straight away. You only met in the flat for the first time.
Well, that's what we wanted you to think. It's called keeping up the pretense for the girls. No, we met before that. He doesn't want to know, hasn't from the start. Couldn't give a toss.
That's not true.
And the feeling's mutual.
And I know that's not true.
Bang your head against the brick wall long enough. Feels great when you stop.
If I'd known something of what was going on,
Don't work it out, Sharon. I didn't want you knowing that. Or Vicky. I was going to tell you, but only so you couldn't. That night in the Vic, I was going to come home and tell you about me and Dalton. If I got out there alive.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Just ignore me, I'm talking rubbish. I'm tired.
You're working with Andy.
It's what I'm used to, I'm good at it.
Eating people up for money.
Yeah, but when I do it, I think really happy thoughts, fluffy white clouds and picnics.
You hate it.
It's a job, means to an end.
And what is the end? You wind up back inside, Dennis.
If I'd been caught for half the things I'd done, I'd still be in there staring at the walls.
You're staring at the walls now.
All the things I've done, Sharon. One count at GBH and a murder, and the rest of the time I was just helping old ladies across the street, rescuing kittens from the tree. Shall I tell you the things I've done?
That's past.
It's never past.
But you wanted something different.
What I want is some kip.
Drinking yourself to sleep.
Go home.
What?
I want you to go, I want you to leave.
Why?
Because I can't stand having you here. Now go home. Play with the nightclub Daddy's making all better for you. The Wendy house for the special little princess when she's in her mid-30s.
Just stop it, Dennis.
Stop what?
Just stop.
Go home. I'm asking you.
No.
You're lying. I know you're lying about not thinking about it.
I'm busy.
No, you're not. You're just staring. Your eyes aren't even moving. You're just trying to avoid me, Dad.
Oh, there's no danger of that.
I used to watch you looking at him, Dennis.
I was probably thinking how I could get him out of the house.
No, you weren't. You were looking at him like you really wanted to talk to him, but you just didn't quite know how.
Oh, spare me the amateur psychology, please. Keep it for your little playmates.
Men trying to be hard, you're rubbish! You can never admit when you made a great big fat cock up!
Watch your mouth.
What did you say to him, Dad?
Oh, I'm getting sick of this. I'm going to start laying a few rules down on you.
Fine, you can try.
He's nothing to do with us anymore. If I say you can't see him, you do as I tell you.
What are you gonna do, Dad? Lock me in my room?
If I have to.
Fine. It's been done before. All that happened then was I broke my foot trying to boot the door in. Look, just because I'm 17 doesn't mean you can yag my strings. He's my brother and I will see him when I want to.
And I'm your father, and I'm telling you he's out of here.
And you're fine with that, Dad, are you? You're happy with that?
Yes, I am.
You don't look very happy. If you're so happy, Dad, then why aren't you happy now?
Because I'm getting my ears bashed and they're beginning to bleed.
You going out, Dad? Shall I come with you? I can keep you company. We can talk about this some more.
No, thank you.
What did you say to him? I know you said something. Why can't you tell me? If you are so happy to be rid of him, then why aren't you happy now, Dad? Dad?
Kids, who'd have them?
Yeah, well, you've got 3! 2 daughters and a son! Walk off if you want, Dad, but I'm not going to let this go. I will not let this drop!
Sugar and spice and all things nice, eh, Dad?
Do yourself a favour, Andy. Have the snip now. Save all that hassle later.
Yeah, I think I can save you some hassle as it happens. One businessman to another. Club gets opened, you need people on the door. I've got a good team can run that for you.
And what else would they be running?
Well, you know how these things work.
Yeah. Nothing.
Don't say no just yet. Mull it over, you know? She'll look after you when you're old.
I am old. And I'm getting older by the minute.
You look like you did when I first met you.
Reverting to type.